Hey guys, LevelCap here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming. Today we're taking a look at EA Play's big reveals, the reveal of Titanfall 2, Apex's next seasonal event, and much more. And if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications to catch the next episode. Today's video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. They're an affordable VPN provider with some pretty competitive features. Like many other VPNs, Surfshark uses AES 256 encryption, which is the gold standard for security. But unlike most competing VPNs, Surfshark includes an ad blocker, a whitelister, allows torrents, and has independent auditing. It also includes a no borders mode that unlocks websites some countries censor. You get a lot more bang for your buck with Surfshark over competitors without sacrificing features or security. They have apps for Mac, Windows, Linux, iOS, Android, and even game consoles. So no matter what device you're using, Surfshark can secure it. Now, unlike the competition, Surfshark doesn't limit how many devices you can connect at once. This is great for small businesses and families with lots of online devices. You can keep your employees and family safe from malicious ads and insecure websites without paying an arm and a leg. For more info and to sign up for Surfshark VPN, check the link in the video description. If you use my code LevelCapGaming at checkout, you'll get 85% off and 3 months for free, which is a huge deal. So thank you very much to Surfshark VPN for sponsoring this video. This year's EA Play had some exciting reveals, especially for Star Wars fans. They released the first gameplay trailer for the upcoming Star Wars space sim combat game called Squadrons. Set after the events of Return of the Jedi, it features a full single-player campaign and full multiplayer experience. Unlike many EA titles, it doesn't seem to be a live service title. No post-launch content has been revealed, and the gameplay trailer placed a heavy emphasis on earning unlocks through the gameplay. Interviews with the developers also indicate that the focus was on getting the game done right as a complete package from launch, and I'm sure that we'll see DLC for the game if it's successful. The single-player campaign has you playing dual roles as both an Imperial and Rebel pilot. In multiplayer, you'll fight 5v5 battles against either other players or bots. The flight controls and general combat seems like a step above what we've seen in games like Battlefront 2. It's not just pushing forward to go. Squadrons gives you control over your ship's power distribution and weapons, so you can give more power to shields or other components of the ship to boost its performance while sacrificing power to other systems. It seems like a more streamlined and accessible take on classic space sim style systems that we've seen in, say, Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen. One of the major selling points of Squadrons is that it's a fully playable VR title. It seems like the perfect blend of Star Wars gameplay and technology. Visually, the trailers have been stunning. The combat looks intuitive and fun, and the overall package seems very compelling. It's due out on October 2nd. Titanfall 2 is actually playable again on PC thanks to it finally being available on Steam. That's right, the gameplay you're watching is from a match that was played this week on PC. Titanfall as a franchise never found a widespread audience for its multiplayer. Despite getting tons of praise with Titanfall 2's campaign, the game itself failed to sell as well or maintain an active player base. That's due in part to the awful release window that the game had, going toe-to-toe with competing EA games and even Call of Duty. There's a lot of speculation that the game would have done much better if it had launched in a less crowded window. And now that it's on Steam, there's enough players to quickly get into a match, which hasn't been the case for months, if not years. The last time I tried playing multiplayer, it was a few weeks ago, and the matchmaking wait times were over 15 minutes, which I waited for and actually never got into a game. It's great to see that this game is making a comeback because it was a total improvement over the original in pretty much every way. Titanfall 2 also laid the groundwork for everything Apex Legends is built upon. Everything from the Battle Royale's gameplay and engine to lore and characters is based almost directly on content from Titanfall 2. There's even an entire mission in Titanfall 2's campaign that's dedicated to the Apex games. Speaking of Apex, the Battle Royale is getting 2 significant additions soon. The first is a Season 5 event update that makes some big tweaks to heroes and modes. It's called Lost Treasures and adds a ton of new cosmetics to the game. It also includes a new mode that gives everyone portable respawn beacons to revive dead teammates with. One of the more notable tweaks to the heroes is that Lifeline will apparently be able to revive downed players with her healing drone. The second major addition is cross-play support. That's coming later on in the fall. It'll let all players on all platforms play together, including the Nintendo Switch port that was just revealed. Lost Treasures debuts on June 23rd. Now, unfortunately, this week in gaming doesn't bring us all good news. Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed once again. This time, it's only for about a month, moving the launch window from September 17th to November 19th. The game has been delayed multiple times, and that's pretty typical for developers. They often delay content to ensure a smooth launch. I'm sure everyone would rather have Cyberpunk launch with as few bugs as possible, so it's not bad news per se, it's just kind of glum. The good news, however, is that we got confirmation of next-gen compatibility. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One players will be able to play their game on their PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. After launch, a free update will enhance the game on both the next-gen consoles. Indie publisher New Blood Interactive made a splash this week, revealing several new games, demos, updates, and more. They previously published indie hits like Dusk and Amid Evil. As part of the PC Gamer digital event, they revealed a thief-inspired stealth game called Gloomworld, a fast-paced action shooter called Ultra Kill, made their co-op space horror game called Unfortunate Spacemen free to play, and also announced updates for early access titles like Maximum Action, as well as new content for Dusk and more RTX features for Amid Evil. Demos for Ultra Kill and Gloomworld are both free to play on Steam right now and are rock-solid sneak peeks at what seem like very exciting new titles. Another indie shooter that I'm quite excited for got a big reveal during the PC Gamer show. PRODEUS is a retro FPS inspired by the original Doom games and is finally coming to Steam Early Access this fall. Teasers for the game have been revealed here or there over the past year following a Kickstarter campaign that more than doubled its funding goal. The new trailer looks absolutely badass. Despite the game's retro styling, it really looks like a modern FPS, and I'm super excited to cover it when it debuts. The Last of Us Part 2 just launched, and the reviews have been highly controversial. Official critic reviews seem to be in large part praising the game, while a lot of user reviews are extremely negative. Now, it should be noted that there's quite a lot of review bombing going in here. Many of the reviews came in just hours after the game launched, and the campaign itself is supposed to be between 25 to 30 hours of gameplay. There are also extensive storyline leaks that people were upset by even before getting any glimpses of the game itself. And without giving any spoilers away, the main points of criticism seem to focus around bad writing, bad storyline, and some social justice warrior issues. Now, I haven't played the game for myself, so I certainly can't comment on the validity of either the critics or the users in this case. I've been on both sides of highly controversial arguments, so this is really something that you'll just have to play for yourselves and decide. So while reviews might paint a divided picture, the game's accessibility options are drawing massive praise from pretty much everyone. Accessibility has become a hot button topic in the past few years as gaming expands more and more into the mainstream. People with disabilities and impairments are finally getting some recognition beyond simple colorblind and key rebinding options. However, some people feel including advanced options like easier difficulties and story modes undermines the integrity of the game. The Last of Us 2 includes options for difficulty, controls, heads-up display, subtitles, audio, alternate controls, visual aids, motion sickness, navigation, and even combat accessibility. Basically, any gameplay elements that might make it more difficult for someone hard of seeing, hearing, or impaired with motor function should be able to modify the game to be somewhat or even fully playable. Operation Steel Wave for Rainbow Six Siege is now live. It adds 2 new operators, Ace and Malusi, and a full rework of the game's first map, House. The rework is pretty extensive, so there's a lot of new spots and tactics to learn. As for the new operation, as is always the case, it'll take a while for them to fit into the game's meta, but so far I haven't seen or heard any major complaints. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds' latest update adds a new C4 item that works similarly to the sticky bombs found on Karakin. These C4 items are throwable and detonate after 16 seconds. A timer that long makes them seem a little bit pointless, but I guess in a pinch they could be used to force other players to move or give up their camping spots. Vehicle damage has also been reworked. They'll now take full damage to the engine area, 75% of the body and 50% of the roof. Rather than just blowing up instantly, they'll now explode after 5 seconds of being on fire. These changes should dramatically improve how vehicles work, especially in early game when you might be driving to the next circle and cross paths with multiple teams. In our final story this week, Microsoft's XCLOUD game streaming service is getting a significant upgrade in 2021. The service currently runs on dedicated Xbox One server hardware that mirrors the current gen console's configuration. The service itself has been in beta for a couple of years now, but recently expanded to include many more regions and players. It's proving to be yet another streaming service with surprisingly good latency and visual quality. Nvidia's GeForce Now and Google Stadia's both offer pretty decent streaming, with Nvidia's being pretty much the top dog in terms of performance. But xCloud is no slouch. In 2021, Microsoft will be switching the service over to the Xbox Series X server blades that can run next-gen titles and Xbox One games. It's expected that we'll see Microsoft bundle xCloud in the Xbox Game Pass service later this year, assuming xCloud is ready for launch by then. And that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know which story you thought was the most interesting. Be sure to subscribe and give us a like if you did enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.